Yes.
Perfecto. Okay. So thanks a lot, everyone, for your interest. It's certainly overwhelming to see the number of people who are interested in selling on Amazon. What I tend to do today with you all is go through what I call Amazon 101, the idea of really, what does Amazon look like? What are some of the trends that are going on with Amazon? As well as how can you be successful on Amazon? It is obviously the behemoth in the marketplace when it comes to e-commerce sales, and we want to make sure that you have the best possible experience with any of the listings that you want to put up on Amazon. Okay, so I'm going to start with some facts. There are 10 great statistics that I think it's important that we know as we come through the end of 2019 and make sure that we're aware of these trends as we're deciding which sales channel we're going to be using for our products to be successful in the marketplace. So, as I'm sure you have all done, I know I have done certainly myself, 9 out of 10 customers price check a product on Amazon. When I'm shopping in a brick and mortar retail store, the first thing that I'm doing is scanning that UPC to see whether or not I can get it cheaper on Amazon, whether I can learn anything about the product on Amazon. And so we want to make sure that we have a great experience for customers for our product when they're doing that comparison shopping, but also learning more. Right now, 2% of Echo owners have purchased a product via Alexa. That doesn't sound like a lot, but I think we're very much at the thin edge of the wedge on the whole voice assistant space. And certainly consumables are the things that customers are buying more than anything on Alexa. So whether it's paper towels, whether it's ketchup, things that they're using in their home every day. And we're going to see this obviously get a lot higher. It will take time, of course. We want to make sure that we're aware of the trend and we ensure that we're ready for it. Amazon sells more than 12 million products, and that number's growing. Jeff Bezos has said, he wants to be the everything store, and you can literally buy anything and everything on Amazon, and customers know that. So they're going to Amazon as that first point, not just as something to go check. So it's quite important that when we want to build our own brand credibility, that we have a product that looks good on Amazon, but is also there and people can find us. 1.1 million home improvement products. Crazy to think that there's that many things that you can buy on Amazon in that one category. 95 million people have an Amazon Prime membership in the US. And I include this because that trend is coming to Canada. And so you look at 59% of the Amazon's total US customers have Prime. We're seeing those same trends come into Canada now. We obviously have 30-ish million people, but if we get 15 million people onto Amazon Prime, what that's doing is it's training the customer base that they're used to having 1 day or 2 day shipping anywhere in the country. And that's really hard for us to replicate on our own. And so we want to make sure that we're leveraging that with Amazon and being Prime friendly. And we'll talk more about that as we go through. $1,400 is what an Amazon Prime member spends each year. So $1,400 is a huge amount of money when it's 95 million people. And just that alone, we're going to see great opportunities because they pay for that membership fee. Amazon is advertising constantly that they're going to get more Prime members. And at the end of the day, we want them pulling people through that channel for us to then consider our product as a solution for them. FBA is called Fulfilled by Amazon. And it's one of those options where if we ship our product into Amazon and have them do the fulfillment, and you'll see that whenever you shop on Amazon, it'll say that it's Prime available, that it's shipped and sold by Amazon. That's an FBA seller. 30 to 50% increase in sales. And I've gone through this personally with a number of clients where we were doing some testing with their products first, using Fulfilled by Merchant, which we'll talk more about. And we were seeing these kinds of bumps. So it's not just, some categories, it's a lot of categories that you see that. Okay. 5 billion items worldwide in 2017. The thing with Amazon, and we'll show you more of this, is it's available everywhere in the world at this point. Okay, some markets are much more mature than others, the US being the king, but there are emerging markets, like Japan, like Australia, that we can also get into using Amazon as our channel of support and having them marketing to customers to come through and buy product. More than 50% of all Amazon sales come from third-party sellers. So a third-party seller is someone who is most likely like you and I, who has a product and is listing it on Amazon versus Amazon buying it from you as a wholesale partner. Okay, 50% of the products of the 12 million products are from regular people like you and I. And that creates a great opportunity for us that we now can leverage because Amazon is giving us the tools to be successful on that channel. 80% of sellers also sell on platforms outside. Okay, so you don't have to use Amazon as the only solution. What I recommend is an omni-channel approach that has Amazon as a part of the solution. So you can still have your own Shopify store, you can still have brick and mortar retail, and you can have Amazon. And that allows us to hit customers at every point of purchase where they want to be finding a solution for the problem that we solve. So why should we sell on Amazon? It's interesting that the 10 largest e-commerce markets, the US, Canada, China, Russia, UK, Germany, Amazon is in all of these, except for China recently. They have placement across all of these different markets, plus India, plus Australia, okay? And they're growing every day. Amazon North American sales alone, the growth rate that we see across regular e-commerce versus offline sales, the brick and mortar, like your usual, Best Buys of the world, are trending fairly flat relative to Amazon since 2007. You see that crossover, and it's a huge growth. And frankly, that growth is still continuing now. $3 billion of retail has been sold in 2016 in Canada. That's a huge amount of money. And if you look across even big brands like Apple and eBay and Costco, you sum up the top three to get anywhere over Amazon. So when I look at all these different places that I could be selling my products, whether it is a health food product, whether it is some kind of grocery product, there are a lot of opportunities for us to differentiate ourselves and use Amazon as that channel. So the question that I always get is, how can I be successful on Amazon? And one of the first things that you learn when you work at Amazon is we start from the customer and work backwards. If we start from the customer and work backwards, we are going to have a better chance of being successful. And what that means is ensuring that we're thinking about the customer and the journey. We're thinking about why they would buy our product to solve the problem that they have. So what I want to do is go through a couple listings, and I'll talk about some of the things that are wrong with these listings, because I think it's important. Anyone can list a product on Amazon. It doesn't mean that it'll be successful. And so I think showing you what looks not so great, and then also some listings that do look good, that will give you that information that allows you to be more successful when you list your product on Amazon. So the first product here we have is this spicy chili crisp chili oil sauce. And we have one picture of a product. With Amazon, we have up to 10 pictures that we can show customers. We can show them the size of the jar, right? We could show them generally lifestyle photos, right? How do I use this? Where do I use it, okay? We have lots of opportunity to use pictures to give people a better experience, okay? The title, a little bit short, and we're going to drive into titles a lot more later on in the content. But at this point, This is very basic of spicy chili crisp. It's a chili oil sauce. It doesn't tell me a lot of things about it that I can really use to determine if it's right for me. This is most likely going to be successful for somebody who's just trying to buy the product that they previously purchased, and it's cheaper here or just more convenient. Another product that is a chili oil type of sauce. This has got a bit more information. We have the bottle, the nutritional facts, the ingredients that are down there, as well as some bullet points that talk about the low sugar, the low cholesterol, the authenticity of it. What it does is it gives customers a better idea about what's in the product, but doesn't really show them how to be successful with the product. So again, this one here is typical. I purchased at a grocery store, and I'm just looking now to replace that purchase. When we try to get into better listing quality, we have another chili oil sauce, and Ling's Hot has done a fairly reasonable job. Okay, they have some lifestyle photos. It shows how beautiful the food is with the product. It has the nutritional facts, so people know what they're getting. We have a bit more detail on the copy, right? It's made in Canada, which is a great selling feature for an Amazon.ca product. No MSG or other preservatives, made with fresh ingredients. So we're now telling customers a lot more about the product, and ultimately, we'll see the Amazon business rank is around 19,000 in the grocery and gourmet food. So a middle of the road product that is having some success, but at the end of the day, certainly could have more. Okay. Here's a product that we worked on with one of the clients out here in Guelph, where I'm located. And we have our similar photos. We have the jar, the nutritional facts, some things that really look how it looks great on food, and that's an important thing when we're having food products. A title that has a lot more information in it. It's a premium Japanese spicy chili miso oil, savory, umami rich, condiment, handcrafted in Canada by Abukichi. Right? We have copy that is more of a marketing copy with keywords in there that'll allow us to SEO rank on Amazon, as well as our price and some of the options, okay? Also talking about the positive press we're getting. So as featured in Canadian Living, Edible Toronto, the Globe and Mail, really giving people an opportunity to say, other people trusted our product, maybe you should try it too. And when you look at the rankings, this is a product that is at 69.16. This was after a few months on the platform that allowed us to kind of get to this ranking. And now it's about driving more and more traffic to the product page. So what we want to make sure in everything Amazon related and the listings is that we think about the customer, we think about what problem are they trying to solve, and how do we show them that our product is the best option for them to solve that problem. So with Amazon, where it all begins is the main title page. So with the main title page, as I'm sure most, if not all of you have gone to, we all start in the top search bar. 99% of people just start at the top search bar. Very, very, very few people go into the hamburger menu up at the top left corner and go into a category and go into a subcategory and start nesting their way through at this stage, okay? So what that means is we have to make sure that we have our product ranking very well with our keywords, no matter what. So our product will be in the grocery category, for example, but we have to make sure that we got the right keywords across the entire platform. When I do a search, and this one here we did was glow sticks, okay? Very simple product, lots of competitors for this product, okay? And so with the glow stick search results, we end up having the top, we have the headline search ad. Okay, so the top saying Xylem Premium Long Lasting Bright Glow Sticks. That's an ad. That's somebody who has registered their brand and is now allowed to get that very, very top search because, as we all know, not a lot of people scroll. So we want to be above the fold. We want to make sure that our product is showing on page one so that we can have the most likelihood of having sales. On the right-hand side are different sponsored ads that are related to the search term of glow sticks, and all those products look relevant to the search term. So it's always important that we're constantly tuning our advertising campaign to make sure that the words that customers type in are relevant to our product. And so if we weren't careful, we could have glow sticks as a search term, and if we sold a hockey stick, we could end up having one of our ads show up if we weren't careful. And so there's optimization needed there to put in those negative keywords that say, these are the things we don't want to show up for, and constantly monitoring that so we don't spend money where it doesn't make sense. Another sponsored ad at the top, that green one, it's a bestseller. When somebody types in glow sticks, this one is selling the highest amount of product in the category. So they're going to be moving a lot of volume. They're going to be having a lot of success. Even though they're sponsored, they own that page and they own the bestseller ranking. So as a consumer, I can look at that and go, hey, I'm glad that they're here, I'm getting lots of visibility to my ad. They have a lot of great reviews, which we'll talk about in the next slide, but ultimately, this looks like a great product. Then I go to the next one, another sponsored ad. Finally, at the bottom, I have for the non-sponsored ads, this is Amazon's choice for glow sticks, okay? So what this tells us is Amazon is going to be using the sponsored ad slots as much as possible because they make more money. And if we realize that, it means I can have the best copywritten product on the planet, but I have to have an ad strategy that's going to work as well with financials that make sense. So the cost per click for glow sticks, maybe it's 50 cents, maybe it's $1, depending on the time of year. I need to make sure that I have economics to be successful with that, or I need to abandon the glow stick search term so that I can be successful in other terms as I'm building up my brand. When we go on and we click on our glow stick, we have the anatomy of the listing page. There's a lot going on here. Number one, we have the brand, okay? The brand of Xylem, that brand is a registered brand, and what it allows them to do is organize a storefront, put a lot more information on a separate page so that customers can learn more about their brand of glow sticks as they build more trust with consumers. One of the things I always do with people I'm working with on Amazon is get that brand registry so that Amazon will respect our copywriting over anyone else's. So for example, if you were also buying these green glow sticks, this exact same branded product, you could list under their listing. What that means is I could make edits to their page if they did not have the brand registry. And as the brand owner, I desperately want to make sure I control my brand experience to customers. So with brand registry, Amazon will give you, the brand owner, the opportunity to own the page content. Number two is our title. So the title is the main thing that customers see when they're looking at the product page. So if you go back a slide, you'll see all you've got is the title for that green glow stick. That's it. You don't have anything related to why somebody would want to buy. So our value proposition has to be very clear in that title. What's that one thing you want people to know about your product that would make them want to click onto it? Number three is our rating. So ratings are incredibly important for customers. Anything over 4 stars is considered a good product. Anything under 4 stars is considered a horrible product. It is that black and white when it comes to Amazon. So we want to fight really hard to get a 4-star and above rating from our customers. This one here is about 4.5 stars. We have almost 1,700 customer reviews with a bunch of answered questions. So this product is a great product. If I was looking in the market for glow sticks, emergency light sticks, this would be the thing that I go after. Okay. The bestseller ranking for emergency light stick, if somebody types that in, this is the #1 product that they end up buying. And so Amazon has added this feature in the last year or so where they're having these bestseller rankings, and they don't tell us how often they update the bestseller rankings, but it's roughly every 15 minutes they're going through and making sure that it's still the bestseller. Number 5, we get to our price, and what we see here is we have an MSRP of $19.50. And what they've been able to do now is offer a 45% discount. And so with Amazon, we can set our own sales. We can set how long we want that sale to be. We can set if we want it to be a certain dollar off for a period of time that allows us to drive maximum profitability, move some inventory, time of year with Black Friday that just passed, lots of things we can do, but we can control our price if we're a seller on the platform. Okay. Right below it, Amazon is putting an advertisement for their Amazon Prime store card, similar to if you used to go to Sears, if you signed up for a credit card, you would get $10 off your purchase, etc. The exact same thing that Amazon is doing. They would pay for that if the customer decided to take that option. Number 6 is the Prime Try Fast Free Shipping. So with this example, I wasn't logged into my Prime account. If I'm a Prime member, then it just says Prime beside the price, and now I know I'm going to get it in 1 or 2 days. Okay, so as said previously, being Prime eligible is incredibly important. If you want to be successful on Amazon, having that Prime badge is a deal breaker. You will have some success, but just as you all know, if you have your own Shopify store, if you're trying to sell a product through that, and you have, $25 shipping or $5 shipping even, you're going to get a lot of abandoned carts. So Amazon has trained the market to expect free and frequent shipping. Number 7, we have the shipping time window, right? So if I'm going to be needing this urgently, I can get it within, if I order within the next 2 hours and 16 minutes, 1 day shipping, I can receive it. It doesn't say that it costs you more for 1 day shipping, which it will. However, I can do that. And so it's trying to get me to add it to my cart. Always about moving the customer through the buy flow. Here's my wonderful product. I have all these slots of images. Okay, on Amazon.com, you'll notice at the bottom they have a video. You'll see the little play button there. So on Amazon.com, they have a few more features and functionality within the seller tools. That is coming to Canada. They don't have a timeline. They won't tell us when. But at the end of the day, it's going to come to Canada because it's going to result in a better customer experience for us to be able to provide video content. As we all know, video is now the be-all and end-all of our digital advertising. Number 9 we have is the main image. Okay, it's really important. With Amazon, there are certain terms of service that we have to be aware of. And one of them is they are a product company. So the first image that people should see is the product they are purchasing. What I like what they did with this one is they showed all 12 of the glow sticks, or sorry, all 10 of the glow sticks, shows exactly what I'm going to buy for the $10.64. They could have gone with the second image, which is just a picture of the glow stick in the package, and put a 12 above it. But I think this one here is much more effective to show everything you're going to get. The image is still clear, and people have a great idea what they're going to receive, and they can do the calculus to say it's going to cost roughly $1 a light. I'm good with that. We have the lifestyle images as well. It's a glow stick, showing it in different areas, why you would want to use it, etc. Let's give the customers all the information they have to show that this product is the right product for them. Now, we get into different configurations, and a lot of people who are selling on Amazon have different pack sizes. With Amazon, you have to have each of these packs needs to have its own UPC, because they don't do the bundling for you. You would have to ship in a 10-pack, a 20-pack, and a 30-pack. Okay, it is across all marketplaces like that. It's unfortunate because I'd love to be able to do soft bundles and have Amazon configure it. However, they don't allow that. So if we're going to sell a 10, 20, and 30-pack, each of those would have their own UPCs. I'd ship each of those into Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, and allow them to ship that out for me. I do have the option, if I was curious if a 100-pack would be a good product for me to sell on Amazon, I could do a 100-pack and I can make it fulfilled by merchant with a shipping cost or no shipping cost and a higher price, but test before I ship it into Amazon. So there are things you can do to have hybrid of fulfilled by Amazon and fulfilled by merchant, but at the end of the day, they each have to have their own UPC code. Number 11 here, we see the copywriting. It's made in the USA under strict quality guidelines. They would have learned that that was the #1 thing customers were worried about with these types of products based on customer research. So they would have talked to customers. They also would have done a lot of research on Amazon to see what customers are ranking 1-star on, to see what they're concerned about, where they had problems. Maybe there was a quality control issue from a different country. They had a real popular glow stick that was leaking. And so we want to go hard after made in the USA, trust our product, okay? Patented, guaranteed 5-year shelf life. If I want an emergency light stick that I'm going to keep in the back of my trunk, I want to make sure that it has a shelf life similar to batteries and anything else that I may store there as an emergency pack. Okay, so we have 5 bullets. We have up to 500 characters per bullet. I don't necessarily recommend using all 500 characters. However, we do have that if we want to make sure that we tell the story of the product. Right-hand side, we have how many you want to buy, add it to your cart, okay? So if I have multiple sellers selling this glow stick, Amazon has an algorithm, which of course they don't share, in terms of which party they're going to put in what's called the buy box. And so when I click add to cart, of all the sellers, they are typically going to put the person who has prime, lowest price, highest seller rating in the buy box. And so there's things you have to monitor and watch for there, which we won't get into today. It's more of a 201, maybe 301 course. But this is just saying we have a buy box, add it to your cart. How many do you want to buy? Move on. And then the other sellers, okay? So I can choose to buy from Lifesavers Inc. I can choose to buy from Medical Supplies if I want to, and both of them are fighting for the buy box. The top one is the one that's in the buy box, and now it's a matter of, hey, I've already bought things from BP Medical Supplies maybe, I'll add theirs instead. When we scroll, we get to what's called below the fold. So below the fold gives us this frequently bought together in item 14. And the frequently bought together is not something that we, as a seller, can influence. This is something that Amazon's put together based upon what they believe is going to convert in the best basket size for customers. So they have data that shows people, when they buy the green, they also buy the red, and they buy the white. Put them all in your cart at once, move on through the buy flow. Item 15 is something that where customers who bought this item also bought these things. And you'll see the other glow sticks, of course, but here's a bunch of other products that may or may not be offered by me, like the UCO Stormproof Match Kit, Datrix Emergency Water Pouch, these other products where we want, as Amazon, to ensure that we're getting customers through the biggest basket size, but for things that actually matter. All of these items make sense. If I'm buying an emergency light stick, I probably would be interested in match kits, water pouches, personal water filters, all those other items that just makes it easy for me to move on through the buy. When a customer clicks on one of those, they unfortunately go to that page and leave our page. And so you need to be aware of those things, that Amazon is going to be serving up a lot of different products to customers that all fit that category. Further down, we have our sponsored product items. So the sponsored product items are those things that these vendors are advertising against our product, the search term, to be shown on this page. So Brady, who does these labels and signs, is advertising against the glow stick keyword, or they're advertising directly against my product. Okay, so we have no control as the brand owner for the glow stick, but as the brand owner for the glow stick, I could also advertise against the Brady signs. Okay, so Amazon again is looking to maximize their profitability in line with things that customers would care about. Okay, so all of these sponsored products look like things I would consider if I was buying an emergency glow stick. As we keep scrolling down, we're getting into the product description, product details, how big is it, what's the ranking in the different categories of industrial scientific, occupational health safety products, toys and games, because you can certainly use these with kids, emergency response equipment. So they have all these categories. And what they're telling us is, in the very top end category of industrial scientific, we're number 46, which is a really good ranking. We're number 1 in emergency light sticks, okay? So it's important that Amazon is always showing where we stand to try to build trust with the customer, that they can trust Amazon to be watching their back, to be showing them great products. Okay, so I want to move into mobile and Amazon. One of the things that we're always looking at with trends and changes that are going on in the marketplace is the general trend towards mobile shopping in any location. So I use Amazon Mobile all the time, as I said, to do comparison shopping. I also will buy the product. You have people buying, $5,000, vacations through their through mobile now. So the mobile trend is here, and we need to make sure we understand what it means for us as an Amazon seller. So with mobile and Amazon, we have, over the course of 1 year, from January 2018 to January 2019, total app visitors increased by 8.2 million. So 8.2 million people are going to the mobile experience while they're doing their shopping. It may be for comparison shopping, it may be for their first point of shopping, but they're using the app more and more. It's available on all your different devices that you can possibly have. It's a really easy to use app, and they're doing that for a great customer experience. We want to make sure we leverage that. We'll talk more about that. Lots of people, total mobile web users, total time spent on the mobile web app, total time spent, it's crazy. The number of hours that people are spending searching through Amazon on mobile is here, and we need to make sure that we're able to take advantage of that. So when I'm selling a product on Amazon, I have to consider the mobile differences, and they are very different. So when I did a search for our chili sauce, you end up seeing a very small snippet of our product, okay? I have this add-on item for $3.50. I have the sriracha down below for $18.50, and I have my abakichi miso chili oil. Well, the biggest thing that we have to be mindful of here is the title. We only have around 50 characters for us to actually get customers' attention. And so if you think back to the images that we have, et cetera, there are terms of service we have to be aware of, and having that product focus, this is what you are buying, this is what you are getting when you purchase the product, okay? So that 50 characters is so critically important that we have to do great copywriting. And between keywords that are gonna matter on Amazon for SEO, as well as stuff that customers are interested in. So after doing research with customers, having sold this stuff with this client, it's a premium Japanese spicy chili miso oil. They want to know kind of the Japanese cooking style and the fact that it's spicy chili, it's not just our chili or our curry. And the word that kept coming out was savory. So that's the one that we put in the front. Over time, we may do some A/B testing and try some different words, but this is what we went after, was the savory piece. If you scroll down a little bit, you see the $15 is how much it costs. It's prime availability. There's only a couple left in stock, so you better hurry up. So Amazon is always trying to get you to buy, buy now. So if I click on it, I go into the product page, and right away, what we see is product centric, the title, the size. What's different about this, if you think back to the regular page that we had, is there's nothing about the product details, okay? Amazon is saying, if you can't convince people in mobile that your product is the right product to buy based on the title and the image alone, you're not going to win. So it's really important when we're doing copywriting as marketing people to get the right keywords in, but make sure that people understand it, the value prop, and are willing to buy. You'll notice in the top right, the rating, the number of reviews. People need to trust that this is the right product for them, but it's based on a lot less information than they had before. When we scroll down a bit, we get into only 2 left in stock, you better add it to your cart, who's it sold by, deliver to you. We still don't have anything about our product. It's just buy now, add to cart. Everything is about Amazon making money off of you. And they only make money off of you if people click on your ads or they buy your product, okay? They make money off of inventory storage fees and what have you, but that's peanuts compared to the money that they make when a customer actually buys and has a great experience. As I scroll down further, the next thing I see are sponsored products related to my item. So I still haven't had a chance to tell customers anything about my product, and they're already showing them sponsored ads. So it's a tough game out there when you think of Amazon. They're already saying, okay, if you've scrolled this far, you're probably not going to buy. Here's some things that you may consider, right? So they have data. They have everything. Anybody who's shopped on Amazon, they know everything that they need to know your buying trends and habits. And they've got data that says, if you've scrolled this far on the mobile experience, you're probably not going to buy this product. You're probably going to buy something else, and we're hoping that you'll consider one of these items instead. Okay, so we need to make sure that our top title and our image at the top captures attention, and we don't let people scroll that far down. If they do, then we get a chance to show them our great copywriting, our great logo, tell them our whole story. And of course, there are people who will make it this far and then consider our product. But most likely, the mobile shopper is a look, solution, add to cart, buy flow. Okay, so if we consider the mobile experience is of critical importance that we understand the customer and we understand what Amazon's motivations are for providing the mobile experience in this way. One of the things that I have a lot of clients talking to me about, they go to shows all the time, whether it's you know, the CHFI food shows or other industry events, and Amazon buyers are always around there. They want to get your product, they want to have it in their store, they talk you up, they make you feel really good about your product and about yourself, similar to a lot of buying experiences. Okay, and so I want to talk about the difference between being a vendor, where Amazon is buying the product, versus being a seller, which is what half the industry is doing with Amazon today, and that is growing. Okay, so we'll go through this to make sure that you understand the differences between the two, and that there is a way to do both, so that you can control your destiny a little bit better. Okay, so with a seller versus a vendor, as a seller on the platform, Amazon is a channel that you sell your product through. Okay, you are using their window to put your product into, but you can think of it as a consignment store. The store hasn't bought your product. You just listed it there, and when people buy the product, then Amazon will make a cut. As a vendor, Amazon is a customer that you will sell to. They are a wholesale buyer, they're going to buy that product, and they're going to have it on the storefront. But there are some subtle differences. As a seller, Amazon charges a listing fee, which is typically around 15% of your MSRP, depending on the category. Okay, so there are some categories that are more, books are different, but in general, it's 15%. And you can Google the category that you may believe that you're in and find out that it's slightly different. 15% is a good budgeting number. As a vendor, Amazon's approaching you to buy your product for wholesale like any other retailer. So they're going to come around just like Metro would or Sobeys would and say, we want to buy your product. Can you give us your best deal, right? And they're typically looking for around 50 points of margin. As a seller, Amazon charges additional fees for FBA services. This is the prime shipping. And so if they're going to be doing pick, pack, and ship for you, as well as any reverse logistics if there are returns and what have you, they're going to charge a fee for that. And I can't get into the exact fee structure because it will depend on the market. But you know, Amazon.com, it's a couple $3. Canada, it's a bit different of a calculation. There's GST involved, et cetera. So certainly can look into that with you if it makes sense. At the end of the day, there is going to be additional fees for FBA services. And what it means is you may have to have a slightly different price between your own website and the Amazon website. And just recently, I believe there was some court rulings where Amazon was trying to get people to have the same price, to have Amazon as always the lowest price or at least the best price, but that was turned down. So you can have different prices across Amazon, across Metro, across your own Shopify site. That's your decision to make. Customers will choose which channel to buy through based on trust, based on less friction or what have you. As a vendor, Amazon handles all the shipping to customers, okay? You're gonna be shipping them hopefully pallets of product, and they're going to put them into the fulfillment centers. They're gonna handle all the shipping. You don't see any of that. There's no additional fees for it. That's all part of the wholesale price strategy that you have with Amazon, selling it to them, where they're making sure they're having profitability. As a seller, it's important to know that you set the MSRP for your product to maximize your profitability, okay? So if you have a glass jar product, you may want Amazon to prep that product. There's an additional fee for that prep. You may have to put that into your higher MSRP for that channel based upon all the other fees and structures, et cetera. You can price it however you want to do to maximize your profitability. It's important to know that as a vendor, Amazon is going to set that MSRP based on what is most profitable to them. And the important part with that is, and I've had a number of companies I'm working with where they've sold product to Amazon, they sold product to Shoppers Drug Mart. Shoppers Drug Mart is listing it at an MSRP that they told them was the right MSRP, and you go to Amazon and it's $10 less. And they're like, oh crap, what do we do? Unfortunately, there's not much you can do. Okay, you can't have price fixing, and what you have to be managing is this idea that Amazon is going to be maximizing for profitability. So even if they are $10 less MSRP, do they sell more volume at that price that allows them to make more net dollars at the end of the day? And that's the calculus that they do every single day. I used to run tests all the time at Amazon where I ran a $5 discount or a $10 discount and see if the volume increase justified the price discount. Because at the end of the day, lower prices are what customers want, and we are all about the customer. So you cannot control your price on Amazon if you sell as a vendor, because they will choose what is most profitable to them. As a seller, you forecast your channel inventory based on your sell-through data. So when you're looking at your metrics, you're going to see seasonality, of course. We just went through Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We're getting ready for Christmas where people may be buying your product more often. So there's all these different channel dynamics going on with regards to seasonality. And we need to make sure that we are monitoring that ourselves. And there are lots of tools on Amazon to do so. It's not that hard once you know how to do it. As a vendor, Amazon is forecasting with you, similar to any other retailer. Now, you may have to be on top of the Amazon buyer to, hey, you know, we see that you're getting kind of low, maybe you should buy some more product from us, et cetera, which is what you do with every other buyer, of course. But at the end of the day, they are forecasting. They have EDI systems, electronic data interchange, that allows them to tie into any backends if you're using a third-party fulfillment house, but it allows you to have that forecasting in an automated way. As a seller, you are responsible for advertising on and off the platform, okay? So if you're gonna do pay-per-click advertising on Amazon, which highly recommend, you have to get the right keywords, of course, that are gonna work for your economics, but you are responsible for that expense. So you need to consider that as part of your customer acquisition cost when you do the financials on your product. As a vendor, you are also responsible for advertising on and off the platform, okay? So as a vendor, we're gonna have an ad spend that we have to consider. We're giving them 50 points of margin, and we're advertising on the platform, okay? Whether that's off platform with Facebook ads or whatever type of product you may have with Google ads, that send them to Amazon or on Amazon directly, okay? So it is important that as a vendor, you may have, you know, quote unquote, more volume. You need to make sure you're making more contribution profit based on that relationship. If you tell Amazon, no, I don't want to be a vendor with you, let's date first and use seller instead, that is totally fine, okay? The buyer, as the vendor rep, can't stop you from listing as a seller, okay? They have no tie together, totally different groups. They can't blacklist you, you'll be totally fine. I have clients that I work with where, as a vendor, Amazon wanted to buy the product from us for less than it costs us to make it. And we said, no. They thought it would only sell for $20. We said, we believe it'll sell for $30. So we listed it as a seller, listed under our own vendor product, and proved to the buyer that it would sell for $30, okay? So there are ways to have that hybrid relationship of vendor and seller to allow us to have a bit more control over our price, because Amazon is always trying to drive price down, and it may get to the point where it's just simply unprofitable. and we have to maintain a higher MSRP for the channel. And so we can absolutely do that, and it gets into more of a maybe 401 course on how to, at the end of the day, you do not need to worry if you tell vendor no that you can't list as seller. So the question I always get is, how much does it cost to sell on Amazon? So I'm going to go through some of the fees. Monthly fee in Canada is $29.99. Okay, it's a professional account. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get a professional account. Okay. If you don't have a professional account, you cannot be Prime, and you also pay an additional $1.49 per item shipped. Okay, this is for Canada. Pay the $30. It opens up lots of tools, lots of opportunities for you, and you will absolutely make that money back because you only have to sell 20 items to automatically be break even on that. And hopefully we're selling more than 20 items. The referral fee on the MSRP sold, it's typically 15%, however, it does vary by category. There's a link that I have here. If you Google this for your particular marketplace, the link I have is from Canada. If you Google it for the marketplace you're going into, it'll tell you that what the referral fee is. There's not many differences across geos, but at the end of the day, look it up to make sure that you have the right economics. Fulfilled by Amazon, the fees depends on the weight thresholds. So if I have one client called Lucky Iron Fish, you may have heard of them. Their product is a hunk of iron. So it's a small product, but she's heavy. And so we have to make sure that we're taking into account the weight thresholds and the XYZ to ensure that the fee structure makes sense and our price is set accordingly, okay? Versus if I have my abakichi sauce there, it is a glass jar, so we have a couple different prep steps we have to do to make sure that the glass jar doesn't break on its way to the customer, and we push that onto Amazon because it's just easier for her fulfillment network to manage the case packs out to Amazon the same way that she would do to Metro or Sobeys. There is an inventory storage fee. It's charged per cubic meter, okay? So again, if I'm selling pillows and I didn't vacuum pack them to make them as flat as possible, I'm gonna pay for the size the pillow takes up. It's charged per cubic meter, and that's a monthly fee that you're going to pay. It's literally pennies, okay? So it's not a lot because Amazon doesn't wanna put a lot of friction for you to have inventory in their warehouse to sell through as many as you can. When it comes to inventory though, it's critically important to note that they are not a warehouse, they are a fulfillment center. So I've seen clients who I get called in and they have $800 of fees coming from Amazon. They don't know why, and it's because they're getting charged for long-term storage fees. They have 6 months or a year worth of inventory in there, and Amazon's going, we don't want to store your stuff, get it out of here. They will ship it back to you for 50 cents a unit, and that's what we ended up doing with this, so we didn't have to pay the huge fee. But if you recall, saying that they are a fulfillment center, not an inventory house. They want product in the one end, onto the shelves, turned out to customers. The more turns of your inventory you can get with Amazon, the more they're going to love you. It means your customers are coming in, they're clicking, they're buying, they're moving, they're making money off of you. And so that's how they want you to work with them, okay? So the inventory storage fee, it is typically pennies on a month. The long-term storage fees don't kick in until you hit 6 months and then 12 months. 6 months, it's minor. 12 months, it's really major. So you have to monitor that. And Amazon shows you exactly how much they're gonna charge you. So it's all front and center for you if you're in their system. Okay, so what's next, right? So we're gonna go through and say, in 2020, if we're gonna list our products on Amazon, we need to differentiate ourselves from the competition, okay? Find things that we do better, differently than any other sellers on the platform, because we want to compete on Amazon, but also anywhere else in general, because we know customers are going to Amazon to do price checks, and if they're in mobile, we have a great opportunity to steal a sale. So lots of opportunities there. Work with someone to optimize your listing titles, bullets, etc. Okay, whatever marketing agency that you may work with, have someone else look at your copy who can tell you whether it's good or great and help to make sure that we're solving that key problem for customers. You're doing lots of points of contact with customers, whether you're doing in-store demos, whether you're at different events. What is important for us is ensuring that we have the key points that customers really resonate with included. Words they say them back to them. And that'll definitely help us with our conversion rates. Okay. Developing our brand. So we want to make sure that we have brand registry on our product. Get the trademark, build the website, get a brand both on and off Amazon. Okay. We want to make sure that we're seen as the solution for customers for whatever problem that they have in relation to our product. And then invest in marketing. So we're going to have marketing, promotion, above the line brand work, but also ad dollars we have to spend to get people to pay attention to us. There's a crowded market out there. There are 20 million other products that Amazon is selling. It'll be 40 million before you know it, okay? Different people are coming out with different, sauces and solutions for iron deficiency and what have you. And we want to make sure that we've got a brand that people trust and are going to buy us instead of our competitors, okay? So investing in that marketing dollars, the promotion of your product, knowing your economics, okay? And maybe I should add that as the last bullet here, but when people listen to this again, they'll know. Making sure that you know your economics, okay? If at the end of the day, you're not making money selling through Amazon, make sure that you're okay with that. And it may be. We have lots, loss leader channels that we work with. I much prefer that you are meeting your goals with the channel than not. And so it may slow down sales velocity if we have to increase our price. But at the end of the day, are you meeting the goals that you have for your product in that channel? Okay. So with that, I would like to certainly thank you all. Hopefully there was some information here that makes sense, that you can use as you try to bring your product out to market on the Amazon platform. There's a lot of information in there, certainly, and feel free to go through it. If you need to reach out to me to understand a few things of what's going on, feel free to. My contact information is there, and I'm more than happy to answer questions that may be in from the people who are listening. Thank you very much.
Okay, great, Don. Thanks very much for that. That is a tremendous amount of information. We definitely have some questions.
Okay.
And just as a reminder to everybody, if you want to ask a question, you can use the question and answer tool, or you can use the little raise my hand tool, and we will take you off mute so that you can ask the question right directly to Don. So, okay, well, we'll start with these questions kind of in no particular order.
Sure.
One of our audience members asks, they'd like to get a better sense for the different Amazon sites and how sites and services to reach customers in Canada, North America, and the world, and how to make the right choices that can transition as a business expands its reach.
Okay, certainly a lot in there. So Amazon, I want to make sure I understand it. If not, please, re-ask the question differently. The Amazon is US #1, UK #2, Germany #3, and Canada is somewhere down the list. And so what you want to look at is if we're launching our product into any one of those countries or any country around the world, where does Amazon sit as a go-to partner for customers to consider? So Amazon sells in Brazil, they sell in Mexico. The sales rate isn't today that great. And one thing I go through with a lot of clients is, what are the costs for me to sell in those regions, whether it's the shipping costs to get it into, to set up the translation, to do all that stuff on the site, as well as the accounting fees, the taxation. So if you're going to ship into Amazon Australia, for example, you have to register for a GST number. You have to make sure you're doing your accounting in Australia. So there are other fees we have to consider. And I would just look at, if I'm going to launch into Australia as an example, and I'm going to sell into retail there, and I already have that fee that I'm taking into account, then it may make sense to sell in Australia. If it's Amazon as your only solution for Australia, just make sure that the numbers make sense, that you can afford all the logistics as well as the overhead that comes with it. So I hope that answers the question. If not, please, re-ask the question and we'll certainly get to it.
Okay. Another question is, the user says, my experience with optimizing and changing content for SEO and customer engagement and clarity on Amazon has been terrible in the past. Has this improved in the past few years, or is there a version of Amazon that gives brands better and faster control to make changes?
So Amazon is changing all the time. So if it was 2 years ago that you were trying to edit into Amazon, then it has changed. They're always changing the user interface and what have you. I will not disagree with you that the UI of Amazon is less than user-friendly, and is one of those things where it's clearly an MVP, minimum viable product. People use it, they stumble around with it, and they are being successful with it. But it is definitely not as clean as some other things like maybe Shopify is, which looks great and is easy to work with. So it hasn't gotten much better over the years. However, there are certain key elements that you need to care about as to where to edit, how to change ad strategies, and there are now some more third-party tools that you can buy, SaaS-based solutions that, depending on the issues you're dealing with, I may recommend different ones that will cost you maybe 25 bucks a month, maybe 50 bucks a month. That will help you with a much better looking front end and much fewer clicks to make the changes you're looking to make.
Okay, excellent. Another question. So how do net profit margins after service fees compare across e-commerce platforms?
So your Shopify site will be the best for you because you're not paying a referral fee. So with Shopify, you're just paying the transaction cost, which is 2.5% or what have you, and 25 cents. So your Shopify site is always going to be the best, most profitable site for you because it is essentially selling direct to your customer. Amazon, if you're a seller, has the 15% fee. With the FBA numbers, you could easily be looking at $6 or $7 that you have to pay if you had a $20 product, and so you have to make sure that the numbers work for you. I think the most important thing to consider is across each of these different platforms is you must have that spreadsheet that says my average cost of sale for advertising, the customer acquisition costs and what have you, is this much, and here's the fee structure, and how much do I net it at the end? And so there's some spreadsheets that I've created because I'm constantly going through stuff like that, and it's really important that you know your numbers, because if you don't, you could wake up one day having sold 1,000 units and go, oh crap, I now just lost a bunch of money. So it's something you have to be very mindful of.
Thank you. Okay, what is Amazon Choice?
So Amazon's Choice is that black badge that you see, and I can quickly just go back to the slide. And here. So this slide here and we see Amazon's Choice down here at the bottom. And so Amazon's Choice is saying, when somebody searches for glow sticks, this is what they choose. That's the product, and that's the advertised. This is the product that they're showing you. So that is also changing every 15 or so minutes. When customers come in, they may see a different Amazon's Choice depending on what the last 15 minutes of sales had looked like. Okay, so it's great to get the Amazon's Choice badge. They've been getting a little loosey-goose, I would say, with Amazon's Choice, where if somebody searches for this brand, Sialum, then I'm Amazon's Choice for that brand. And like, okay, that's great to know. But I'm looking more for much broader things that I'm Amazon's Choice for. The whole idea is to build customer confidence that when they search for something, this is the choice that Amazon is saying customers are choosing.
Because it's really then based on customer behavior. Yeah, okay.
All based on conversions, it's all based on conversions. If they just clicked it, but glance viewed at it and went to something else to buy it, that wouldn't count. That would be a negative on it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, what is your experience with Amazon CRM software that emails customers to encourage reviews, and are these safe with Amazon's evolving policies?
Yep, no, great question. So Amazon has terms of service, which if you're looking for good bedtime reading, you're more than welcome to print them out. They change all the time and they don't tell you when they change. So it can be very frustrating. I use tools like that all the time. What I look at it from is, from the customer perspective, am I being too pushy? Okay, so there's one clear thing that we have to be careful of with these auto emailer tools, is we cannot ask for a positive review. Okay, we can't say, if you've had a positive experience, please leave us a review. That is against the terms of service. Amazon wants, whether you had a bad experience or a good experience, to leave a good review or a bad review. And so we have to be careful with the words that we use when we're asking for a review. Okay. One of the things I'm doing, I would say reasonably successfully with a different brand that I'm working with, is having a drip campaign that if they have concerns, contact us. We don't want them going onto Amazon and leaving a bad review because they had a negative experience. It could be, frankly, user error. It could be just, we have a poor out-of-box experience and we want to know. And so if you have the capacity to have a level of customer service, whether it's frankly calling you between 8 to 5 or on your time zone, do that, because we want to make sure that we're taking customers off Amazon for complaining and really controlling that experience. Okay, we can't take them off Amazon to buy, but we can certainly have them come to us for complaints. Okay, so a lot of times, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, when you have a product that you buy from Amazon, there's a little note inside. Okay, and that note is, hey, we're a small brand, mom and pop shop, et cetera, et cetera. We really appreciate you buying from us. If there's any concerns, please contact us, et cetera. Okay, absolutely allowed to do that. You cannot offer them another way off to buy through your Shopify site, for example. You can't offer them a discount code. You can just say, thank you very much. Okay, so there's a lot of terms of service we have to be mindful of. I typically recommend a tool called Feedback Genius. It's from a company called Seller Labs. I've used probably half dozen different feedback tools for this. What I like about them is they adhere to Amazon's terms of service for anti-blacklists. So if somebody says, I don't want to receive emails, they won't send an email to them, that type of stuff. And so use approved tools. Otherwise, you could get yourself in trouble. But it's not against terms of service to ask if customers have said they're open to getting emails.
Okay, great. Next question. So since Amazon is very price oriented and competitive, I'm curious to hear, how are the premium or higher price categories growing on it? And do you think there's a great future for premium brands?
Yeah, it's an interesting space, because just recently Nike announced that they were exiting Amazon, and partly because they were having a hard time controlling their price on Amazon. The biggest thing from a premium brand, and I've worked with a number of them, is if they have poor distribution, they end up having to leave Amazon because they have everyone doing sub-distribution of their Nike shoes, for example, and then listing that product and finding a way to make a nickel. And literally they will, some of these guys will make a nickel doing this, but it will ruin your price and your brand point. So when you look at the likes of Louis Vuitton and Hugo Boss and what have you, they're not going to list on Amazon, period, because they want to have their own boutique and bespoke experience. So depending on the type of product you're selling, if you can control your distribution and control your brand, there's no reason why you can't sell, a high-priced product. We just have to make sure that we're controlling the way that that product is being sent out there. And if we do have distributors who are being set up with territories, if we say you can have the Amazon retail channel for .com, or you can have the California brick and mortar channel, that it's very clear that they can't have certain other areas because I've seen it happen a few too many times where distributors will find ways to move product if it's not moving through the way that they want it to.
Okay. Okay. What is the difference between bestseller and Amazon Choice? They seem the same to me.
They're very, very close. And so if you look at this next slide here, you'll see that this is a bestseller for the emergency light stick category. So when somebody have emergency light sticks, we are the #1 seller for it, versus here, with glow sticks, when somebody searches in glow sticks, we are Amazon's choice, okay? So what the sponsored ad here is saying, this is a bestseller. This is Amazon's choice for glow sticks. This is the bestseller in the emergency light stick category. So there's subtle differences, okay? At the end of the day, having one of those is a good thing, okay? You wanna be #1 bestseller in a category. You wanna be Amazon's choice for a search term.
Okay. Okay, so with natural health products, or NHPs, on Amazon.ca, many products are often American brands that manage to get listed despite not being approved by Health Canada. How would you handle competitors that violate Amazon's policies to compete?
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. A lot of times it's, again, through the distributors, and if I list on, there's a couple different ways here. One is if I'm listing on, if I'm an American product and I list on .com, I can make myself available for multi-channel fulfillment, which allows me, if somebody goes to .com to buy it, to ship it into Canada, whether or not it's regulated, okay? And that's certainly a problem, but it's not much we can do about it. When it comes to somebody listing a product on .ca that is doesn't have the DIN and the certification required, the only thing that we can do is contact Amazon through seller service to say that you report a violation, okay? There is absolutely no guarantee that they will remove the product, and it's very frustrating for people who are struggling to get the certification in Canada and do the right thing, to then have somebody listed on there and kind of squeak through in a nefarious way. Amazon's approach to this, which I have personal experience with when I worked at Amazon. So the story I tell is I used to run Kindle accessories at Amazon, and so all the Kindle products, accessory products that were available on Amazon came from me. And we have a power charger that I absolutely had counterfeit products on there with my logo. And I knew they were counterfeit because I bought them and I tested them. So it was a major fight in Amazon for me to get those removed because the approach was customers will try it, not like the experience, and give it a bad rating. So Amazon is all about letting the data win, letting customers buy things, and if they have a problem, they will say it's a 1 star, and it won't rank high anymore. So the challenge with that is power chargers burn houses down. So if it catches on fire, that's a bad day. Similar to natural health products, things that you're putting into your body that may not be certified, there could be consequences to that. And so we can only open up a case to say reporting a violation. This is not listed on Health Canada. When I do a search for the DIN, it's not there, et cetera. And I hate to say hope because I don't like that word, but we have to, we can only do so much because it's not our product. So what I have to do is list my product, advertise the heck against them, talk a lot about the fact that we're Health Canada approved, and try to win the battle on Amazon through that way. Okay, so I know it's not a great answer, and it's unfortunately, there's no, here, click this button and you can have them removed. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately, with Amazon.
Okay, that's a tough one.
I know, it's a frustrating one. Not even tough, it's frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, so another question. How do retail stores feel about being undercut in price on Amazon for the same products?
They hate it, right? It's similar, the shopper's story that I shared. It was a major problem, and they're on their own Shopify site, and their Shopify site is tied to retail price. They're on well.ca, and well.ca they have a good relationship with, and so the pricing was the same. But Amazon was like, well, we're going to slash the price and see if we can sell more. And it's something where you have to have a good relationship with your retailer. And also, at the end of the day, depending on where you're trying to sell your product and where's most profitable for you, you may say, you know what, we don't want to sell to Amazon anymore. So Amazon, unless you can maintain this price for us, we're just not going to replenish your inventory. It's that simple. And so you can absolutely do that and then list yourself as a seller, as I mentioned, and manage your price, right? And so it's something that you have to take control of, because Amazon will always look to maximize their profitability, period.
Okay. There are no more questions in the question box, but if anybody has one that they would like to ask, now's the time. We've got a few more minutes left. Don was very generous in saying we could go past the hour so people could have questions. Okay, I don't see any raised hands,
Nope, sure.
and I don't see any more in the question box here. So I think that will wrap it up. Don, I don't think we could thank you enough for all of this. It's really been fantastic information, and so thank you for that. If you have more questions for Don, you can reach him directly. His information is right there. Yeah. And if you have questions about Natural Products Canada and how we can help you, you can send an email directly to me. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know, oh, someone's asking for your phone number, by the way. I don't know if you can throw that onto your slide, but I can make sure it goes out in the follow-up email. But if you found this webinar helpful, you might be interested in one coming up on December 11th by the Ontario government and the Canadian Health Food Association. It's focused on e-commerce in pursuing opportunities in China's consumer market, and it's specifically designed for businesses that produce consumer packaged goods in food and beverage, also consumer health and mother and baby categories. So I'll put a link in the to that information and the registration page in the follow-up email that I'll send to you, and I'll also send you a link to the recording of this webinar, and you should get that probably tomorrow. And I guess that is it. So thank you very much for joining us, Don. Thank you for all of your information, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the day.
Great. Thank you very much, folks. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.